and then over the course of truly dangerous things.
We wanted just across the board to make the enemies more threatening too. So that means the infected, even the lowest class, the runners, are more dangerous.
All of our characters, right, and making them all equal. Ellie, as we saw in the first game, is incredibly capable, but this is a world where you need to be capable to survive, and we want a hardened character. She knows how to use a gun, she knows how to stealth, she knows how to kill a clicker as well as Ellie.
Being an avenue that was really worth exploring was traversal. Ellie is so much more agile, kind of more athletic, that it seemed like we should really pursue this whole avenue of gameplay. Introducing like a real jump, like a real arcing jump, has allowed us to make for much more interesting puzzles, more interesting vertical environments, and can frequently integrate.
She can squeeze through, we call them squeeze-throughs. Oh, looks like I could fit through that. Oh, I can fit through that, that's cool.
And that has been such a great integration into the combat loop of you're in stealth and you just kind of like scooch into a room or behind an object. In The Last of Us, like they're frequently the difference between life and death. They're with you for the entire game. A lot of the gameplay choices that you make are based on how you use them, how you evolve them over time through your upgrades. We really wanted to give an opportunity to look at them up close, to interact with them physically. And so the workbench seemed like the ideal place to do that.
Just talking about the tech for a second of just a snowy environment. We snow stuff you'd expect, brushing by on horseback, a branch in the snow falling and collecting on the horse, like all these things you would expect in a realistic grounded world. We have it goes from more of a clear day into a blizzard. It's all just...
Dina, where are you?
You're infuriating. Have you met you?
Ellie started going down this road of revenge. She finds herself in Seattle.
Called the WLF. They're kind of a little bit like a militia that has taken over the town, and they have that
a male trespasser has been spotted, and she knows that the WLF are closing in on him. And so we find her negotiating this abandoned hillside suburb.
And she's guard dogs that the WLF are using. Dogs have a new sense of perception to bring to the table, which kind of puts this really interesting wrinkle on stealth gameplay, where so far you've been dealing with sight and sound, trying to stay out of sight, trying to move slowly to be quiet, but now with Entrail.
If you go into listen mode, you can see, we have a visualization of that sense, so you can see like when the dog is sniffing you and where it's going.
We're introducing one of our new infected classes, the Shambler.
And the Shambler, corrosive clouds.
And because we have this evade mechanic, you can kind of go toe-to-toe with someone, and we can have these boss fights that we weren't able to have before. So you guys can go back and forth and exchange combos and evade each other and slam each other onto like barely surviving by the edge of her abilities.
So for The Last of Us 2, for the first time in the game, you're able to learn entirely new crafting recipes just via the upgrade system. These are abilities that make your character feel really different. You are really able to pursue the playstyle of your choice and kind of make the Ellie that you're playing.
Experience to be something where it's a balanced stealth experience where you have a lot of tools to aid. You can entirely stealth past everyone.
Got something. We'll look into it.
And then the other big thing we did, they communicate a lot more between each other. Their AI is much more sophisticated. We rewrote most of the systems for this game. So much of this game is you make violence feel impactful to the player.
You can't stop this.
Enemies have names. So when you're going around and you shoot someone, you might hear someone yell their butt, just their behavior.
What is it? Someone took him out!
We got something.
We're always trying to strike a balance of getting people excited for this game, show them a bit more of a glimpse of the 3 hours of the game. You're seeing 2 different seasons, 2 different times of the year. It feels like a lot, and it's a tiny fraction of this entire game. And as
we come upon is their regular day-to-day life. We're coming in on Ellie and Dina, her best friend, patrolling the outskirts of Jackson.
Ellie and Dina at this point have been friends for several years, but there's been underlying romance between these two characters. From the demo we put at E3, where you saw this festival and this dance, and these two were coming into that first demo in wintertime where snow covers much of the ground, much of the buildings, all the surrounding areas. We see what's life like.
Scale of 1 to 10. How would you rate our kiss from last night?
Look who decided to join us. All right. You all know the drill. Run your routes. Mark your logbooks. You run into anything you can't handle. You come back.
Dina, where are you? Get off me! Please stop! No!
Tommy. I have to finish it.
You have no idea what you're walking into.
What are you doing?
You don't know how large that group is, how armed.
I don't care. You can't stop this. What the hell are you doing here?
You think I'd let you do this on your own?
I have eyes!
PlayStation